Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Not Too Comic Book. This being a show where we talk about TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about Hitmonkey Season 2, Episode 7. Great episode. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. This was a sad episode, because, it's all culminating in all of this. The fact is, the co-op finds out about the replaced sword. I thought they were going to replace it with Monkey's sword, the one he had gotten from like that general last season. The sword that was originally, the one that's supposed to be like a sister sword or distant sister sword to the Bonsai Master's sword. But it wasn't that. It was just some regular, like, it looked like it might have been just some wood sword they replaced it in the But yeah. The co-op was not too happy. They end up assuming Monkey was behind this, which you would think Boom being able to read his mind would have been able to be like, oh, Monkey says he had no idea about any of this and believe him. But it's like, because the only person that believes him amongst the group is Dot. To be fair, I feel like she kind of is always a little closer to Monkey than the others did. But she's willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. But the others are just kind of like, nah, Monkey, he's a traitor, yada, yada. But Monkey, like, figures out, he has an idea of where all three, like Haruka, Bryce, and Eunice might have gone. So it is up to him to retrieve them. And they're even like, hey, this is Boone in particular is like, leave this to Monkey. This is his mess to clean up. He has to kill his friends. The fact is, that's the sad thing. Monkey's so far gone because, once again, that's Bryce and Haruka made the right choice not talking to him. Or maybe that just made things worse. Because wouldn't Monkey have actually listened to them, even if Haruka brought it up? You know, if Haruka was listening to Bryce being like, yo, like, don't listen to him. I mean, to be fair, she's noticed, like, how far he's gotten away from them, you know? And it's the sad thing is, because, like, Monkey won't listen to anything, despite Bryce being like, yo, and Haruka explaining, like, no, like, he's the one that killed, like, it was Double Tap. He was there. Like, they're responsible for killing all my friends, like, all my like, everyone at the precinct. Like, these aren't good people. You can't trust them. But for Monkey, it's like these people are able to give him something that Bryce couldn't. Because, like, him and Bryce were fine in season 1, a little bit here in season 2, but it started to become strenuous on him of all the killing. But they gave him a purpose of like, hey, the moment you do this, you'll never have to kill anymore either, because we'll get rid of all the violence. Like, he got swept up in the cult of it all, of like this promise of, because he felt like Bryce was supposed to be his tribe, and Haruka became a part of that tribe, but he turned his back on that because he was so tired of the killing that it's just like, I don't need this. There's a different way, there's a better way, and he got seduced into this, and he felt like he found the family again. I mean, that's all he's been doing ever since. It's been looking for his tribe. You know, he lost his OG tribe. He tried to find a second tribe in season 1, and that didn't work out. So it's like, hey, I have Bryce. But now it's like him and Bryce's relationship became strenuous because Bryce has been pushing stuff because he's trying to work stuff out, trying to, you know, be with Iris. And now that's caused tension. Like, Bryce's decisions and his choices and his deal with the devil literally put such a massive strain on him and Monkey's relationship, and it helped basically push him closer and closer to the co-op. But even if this whole situation with Bryce wasn't what it was, I don't know, the co-op still would have seemed very seductive to Monkey. So, but anyway, Eunice, Bryce, and Haruka are booby-trapping the place in preparation for anything. But Bryce is like, we need to keep moving. The co-op have superpowers. We're going to die if we stay here. But, I mean, Eunice has the place, like, locked and loaded. She has more than just some BS booby traps. It's like, no, there's a lot more to this place. Understandable. Like, you don't work in her line of business without having, like, some serious heavy, like, backup and artillery. The only person that showed up to back them up was Iris. The only reason why she saw it's because she's like, oh yeah, I saw on Donkey's phone, and it's like, oh, how'd you see it on Donkey's phone? It's like, well, they hooked up. But it's like, yeah, every contact she called to back them up didn't show up, and Eunice is like, oh, it's kind of messed up. You thought you fostered good relationships with people, but it all comes down to money in the end. It's like, well, it makes sense. This is a business, and it's like a thing of, well, I don't really consider us friends. I mean, it makes you wonder. I mean, if the circumstances were different, you were calling in Bryce wouldn't show up here without the proper pay and stuff, you know. So The only reason why Bryce is here is because he's involved in this situation directly. And Iris knows her dad is, well, the people she's come to like, because she likes Haruka, she likes Eunice, and, you know, she likes her dad enough. So I was like, yeah, I'm here to stick this out. But Bryce is like, I don't want my daughter here. We need to keep running. But Iris is like, yeah, but you've been running your entire life, Dad. How about you try something a little different this time? So he tries to talk to Monkey in the most asshole-ish way possible of like, right, like, don't you see what's happening here? And Monkey doesn't care. Like, he's all about this. And, you know, like, he tries to grab the sword. He's not willing to listen because, once again, he's so desperate to grab onto this thing that's kind of become, he's found purpose, and like he doesn't want that stripped away from him. Like, he's not willing to listen to these people like, hey, after everything you've been through, like, right, Bryce is one thing, but you're not even willing, not even giving a chance to listen to Haruka. Because even Iris is like, yo, I know how much of an asshole my dad is, but he is right on this one. Even Eunice is like, yeah, give me right once. But it's like, Monkey's so sipping the Kool-Aid, he can't see past, because he wants to call Bryce out for being a selfish prick. Super being selfish too. Like, he is a selfish prick, but Monkey doesn't recognize how he's being selfish too. It's like, no, you're doing this, like, are you even doing this for the good of anything? It's like, no, you're doing this because you're getting something out of it too. So it's like, later on when Bryce admits, like, oh, you've been killing for the devil, I did what I did for to be with Iris, and it's like, and for you, but it's like, you can't really judge him too. I mean, you can judge him heavily, sure, but it's also like, Monkey, you're doing the same exact thing. Like, you're so desperate to hold on to the co-op that you are unwilling to see them for what they truly may be. Once again, maybe it's not all of them, maybe it's only some of them, but their attitude this episode makes me go like, I mean, I think it probably turns into that conversation of a cheetah can't change its spots, or more apt, like a zebra can't change its stripes, of like, they are assassins, like, maybe they're not the good people you think they are. I mean, they probably will end up being the new aldermans, you know? Because, yeah, they might have the best of intention, which even the shepherd was like, yeah, like, I wanted the best of the best. And then, lo and behold, what happened? I got the weapons, and we got the weapons, and, you know, it became a, well, why don't we do what we want to? You know, it's like, the co-op will become the new aldermans. Whether they truly believe in this cause or not, or whether this was all bullshit from the beginning, you know, it's probably more likely that I don't know. We'll have to wait to see, but the main crux of this is a duke out between Monkey and Bryce trying to beat the shit out of him, and it's just like, I mean, it does suck that, I mean, it does speak volumes. Monkey knows guns doesn't work on Bryce, but Bryce is like, yo, you shot me, are you really trying to kill me? It's like, I've been tossing you around, I haven't been trying to kill you, I've been trying to kick your ass, but whoa, you pull the gun, and he's like, it doesn't matter, you already did. But it's like, doesn't mean it doesn't hurt like hell. It's like, to be fair, he never pulled a strap on anyone else. He wasn't trying to kill anyone else, even though they were kind of pushing. I don't know if Monkey was just not hearing what they were saying, like, oh, you have to kill your friends. Because even he's like, right, if you let me do this, I'm trying to de-escalate the situation. This way everyone walks away fine, like, hand over the sword, and now convince the co-op not to kill you. It's like, you know, shouldn't that be a sign? But so it's like, he knew what time it was. Like, he did hear what they wanted him to do, but he wasn't trying to kill anyone. But he knew, like, the guns wouldn't work on Bryce, but him and Bryce, he cares about everyone else, but hates Bryce. I love that Eunice's main beef with this is like, they took my quarterback. Like, Monkey could have been my fuck you money. Oh, everyone in life is hoping and praying to ever get to fuck you money levels, you know? And it's like, yeah, that could have been it. I didn't even talk about it, but like that the Last Supper comes about because of multiple. It's a layered title for the episode, but also like them all gathered around, where it's like Eunice is planning on bouncing out of the business because it's like, well, you know, it's just kind of not worth it in the end when like the people you foster all these relationships, all these clients, you give them a career, and what does it? Lo and behold, what does it matter? It doesn't mean anything. Which Iris is like, no, they need more women in this business, so. Haruka plans on going back to Japan. Because it's not even just to fix Japan. Because once again, we don't know what Japan is like after like Haruka left. I mean, that precinct is dead, and we don't know if we haven't really heard too much about like the chaos that is Japan. Like now that like it's up and like it's a power grab, and the criminal underworld is running rampant. But she had no plans to go back to do all that. It's like, right, she left home and she wants to go back. It's like she ends up talking about, like, she's like, yeah, my parents died last year, which I was bringing up, like, yeah, we hadn't really heard much about her parents. So I was like, they must be gone. because once again, we know, like, the only thing we know about Haruko was like the little she told about herself to Ito last season. But even then, like, only thing we really know about her is her like perspective on things and her like personality. But that's it. Like her as a person, like, we know very little, like, about just her life in general. But she was going to go back home and live a quiet life in her village. And it's like, what about Bryce? He's like, well, I got to make the most of the time I have left, because he's like, well, because obviously none of the others know that he has a time limit, because he doesn't really know what's going to happen the moment, like, time runs out. Like, will he get dragged back to hell, because he only has like 6 hours left on the clock for his physical form stuff. So, but yeah, basically all storylines converge because Lady Bullseye points Akiko in the direction of Monkey. And it's like, right, Lady Bullseye's after Bryce. Once again, to be fair, Lady Bryce was always a sociopath anyway, but like her main beef with all this thing is like, once again, it's like, I'm the bad guy that's pissed that you killed me. She's like, right, you held me while Haruka shot me. I died like some rank amateur. I went out I didn't go out some badass way. I went out like a punk. Like, that's some bullshit. I'm a badass, and I went out, like, so easily of, oh, you held me while Haruka shot me? That's fucked, you know? So that's all there is for Lady Bullseye. And Akiko and Haruka tried to talk, and it's like, Akiko's not willing to listen. She's like, right, it doesn't matter. I would have had my life. Like, the fact is that line came out of her mouth where it's like, I would have lived in the prime minister's house. Like, why the fuck should that matter? It's like, my uncle would have been alive. It's like, yeah, but you would have lived in corruption. She's like, who cares? I only had one life, and that would have been mine. And it's like, once again, we saw in episode 5 all that Haruka went through and why her uncle was so fundamental to her. But so because of that, she's not willing to see, like, right, I am kind of off. Like, once again, there's like Akiko's trauma has like permeated through her life, and she was okay, but it's like that darkness has always been there. It just took losing the last bit of family she had to like finally send her over the edge, but it was always there. We just weren't aware of it, and she's just so blinded by her rage and her grief. It's kind of the same thing with Monkey. It's just like, right, the moment, like, the only difference is she doesn't necessarily pick up she did pick up a gun, but it's like, yeah, if you pick up a gun, you're going to be picking up one for the rest of your life. That whole motif and angle to things keeps happening over and over. It is this sad cycle of violence, you know? And I'm sure in Monkey's mind, this also plays into, hey, we can nip this in the bud with all the alderman weapons and stuff. But either way, Haruka isn't getting through to Akiko, because it's like, right, I lost my parents, I lost my friends, I know what it's like to be full of pain and anger. I get that, but like, this isn't you. You're a kind-hearted person. She's like, yeah, I was, but this is who I am now. You know, she's so blinded by her rage, because it's like, right, if you're going to protect Monkey, then I'm going to kill you too. And obviously working with Lady Bullseye, but I mean, she wants, like, no, let me handle it. But Lady Bullseye's like, well, if you're not going to, like, you know. And Haruka drew the sword, and despite everything, Haruka didn't put an end to Akiko, even though she got the chance, because she's like, see, this is it. You're powerful. Like, I see the moment you get some power, you show your true nature. And like, Akiko's making it seem like she's so got and understood Haruka, and Haruka's like, no, this isn't who I am. And Akiko goes like, yeah, but this is who I am. And she stabs Haruka what seems like in the heart. And you can tell it still shook her, because it's not the first person she's killed, but it's the first person that she's known that she's killed. Because she still hasn't even killed Monkey yet. And she knew Monkey longer than Haruka, but it's still the thing of, this is someone you knew, someone who was trying to talk you off the ledge. She had an opportunity to kill you, but she chose not to, but you killed her. And it's like, she's still at the end of it, it's like, I still got to kill Monkey. It's like, because Monkey had a shot on Akiko, but didn't. And it's like, because you chose to save Akiko's life, like, because you decided to spare Akiko because you feel this, I mean, you feel bad because you don't want to, like, that's the thing of, like, you don't want to kill anybody, you want this all to stop, but it's like, your choice not to kill Akiko, to put her down in that moment, causes more issues. Kind of like Boone had told you it would, and you knew it was, and I even said at the time, it was going to come back to bite him in the ass, and it did. Haruka is, not unless she's barely hanging on, but she is dead, it seems like, you know? And she wanted to go and kill Monkey too, but the co-op showed up, and it's just like, damn it, dude, this sucks, you know? And now the co-op has a sword, and Monkey leaves with them. Like, he mourns what happened to Akiko, but it's just like, right. I mean, not Akiko, Haruko. So it's like, right, I just got to bounce. And he's kind of numbing himself to all this. And that was the thing that Bryce was like, you never want to numb yourself to it because it becomes too easy. And it kind of numbed himself a little bit to it, but still, like, these are your friends. That shouldn't come easy. That should weigh on you, but he's going to numb himself for this. And he's going to have a rude awakening when he realizes what this has all been for. Like, you betrayed your friends and you sided with them, and then it's like, your choices led to all of this, Monkey. Because, I mean, that's why he feels responsible for the Haruka. I mean, not just Haruka's death, but also, like, Akiko and everything. It's like, I played my role because she's like, you know, and Akiko keeps making that point that if I never met you, if you weren't in my life. Once again, you were all about what Monkey did until it personally affected you in regards of, like, you were still ride or die with him until he killed your uncle. And even Haruka said, like, he was trying to save my life. And she's like, who cares? Because she's not willing to listen to... She's so in her grief and her sadness and her anger that she's blinded. Just like Monkey's kind of in the same boat, but you can make the argument it's kind of on the opposite side of the spectrum. So, also, it's going to be interesting to see because Bryce was unconscious because of what Lady Bullseye did, drowning him. And so he's okay, but... Well, I was about to say, like, is he unconscious? But it's like, no, he is conscious at the end. He coughs up, but I mean, he might have fell back unconscious, and he stays in that form too long. He's burning through whatever little time he has left, which I'm sure Monkey will apologize for that later on, but we'll have to wait and see. This is a sad episode. It's just like, fuck me, dude. This episode, just emotionally, and just, it sucks with everything going down that this is a... I mean, just like season 1, I mean, any hero story has their low point, and this is this season's low point after everything. So it's like, is Haruka gone? Will she be a ghost sticking around, or will she move on? Or is she actually still barely hanging on? It seems like she's dead, but who knows? Maybe Bryce will end up making some new deal, because we don't know what the whole situation with the devil, how that's all going to play out. Because, like, Haruka was, like, here for this fight. And, you know, it's that red flag situation of, like, you make all these promises. Oh, you're 1 day away from retirement type of thing. And it's like, yeah, you put a death flag on yourself. So, we'll see what the aftermath of all this is going forward into the next episode. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. To the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day, and... goodbye.